my honor to invite up our co-presidents, John and Joel. Please be seated.
Is this working? So I'm John Holman. I'm co-president of Emanu-El, of the board, with the wonderful Joel Rosh, right there. And as I was walking down the steps trying not to fall down, I was reminded of the Academy Awards, where the president comes out, the president of the Academy, in the middle of the show, and we all think the same thing, right? What? Why is this person out here? It's totally irrelevant. And so I'm going to keep this short, but Joel and I do have just a few small things to say. First, I'd like to talk about Joel for a second, which he hates. He truly hates being talked about. He doesn't want to be the center of attention. But as you look at this enormous building project we have out here, which, by the way, is on time and within budget, which is a miracle, truly a miracle, that took many people. And I'm not going to turn this into the Academy Awards and list all the people, but it took many presidents of the board. It's been going on for 8 years. It took many board members. It took all of the clergy. It took all of the staff. It took hundreds, literally hundreds of congregants who gave time and gave energy and gave money, large amounts of money, to make all of that possible. But through that whole time, 8 years, by the way, since the inception, and less than a year to go, Joel was the guy who was in charge of the building. He does that for a living. He causes buildings to be built. We could name 10 buildings in this city that you would know that he was responsible for building. But this is a huge project. He has a full-time job doing other buildings. This building was also a full-time job. I don't know how he did it. I really do not know how he did it. So when you see Joel, whether it's today, he's got his name tag on, if you can, yeah, he's hiding, you see? This is Joel. When you see him, just please thank him, because we owe him a great debt of gratitude. We owe it to many people, but we definitely owe it to Joel. Thank you. There you go, Joel. Sorry, I apologize, Joel, I do. So the only other thing I want to talk about is a quotation. This is a quotation from the Yiddish. No, I do not speak Yiddish. I know the same 16 words that many of you know. But the quotation is, Der Mensch tragt und Gott lacht. Means nothing, right? But what you do know is man plans and God laughs. That one we all know. And we usually think of it sort of humorously. You know, we got everything worked out, we thought we had everything worked out, and it kind of falls apart, and what can you do? You kind of laugh and get on with things. If I could tell you how many millions of things were done to enable all of us to be in here today, there are stories that would curl your hair, or straighten your hair, or if you have no hair, whatever. But there's another side to that quotation. It's kind of the flipped over side, which is that we tend to spend a lot of time worrying about stuff. There is a rumor that Jews worry about stuff. And the fact is that most of the time it works out just fine. Not always, but most of the time it works out just fine. And so I want to tell you what I see up here today. I see families that are helping bring families from Ukraine. I see families that are raising wonderful kids with values. I see people who are working in the food bank across the street once or twice a month. I see a room full of people, a congregation full of people who are raising the spirit of Tikkun Olam every day, unbelievably. And I see children, babies being named. I see our young people becoming bar mitzvah. And if I can steal a line from Rabbi Bauer from 5 years ago and Yom Kippur, we're raising revolutionary benches. And so, I'm a very practical person. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm not a Pollyanna. But I refuse to see the world as half empty right now. The glass is not half empty. I'm not saying everything's great, because everything isn't great. And there are things going on that are not good for the Jews. But I am choosing to see the glass as half full. And I would just encourage all of you, when you're in those difficult moments that we are all having, to please try and think of the glass as half full and try to work to make it completely full, because that's what the world needs from us, and it's what we need from each other. Shana Tova.
Good afternoon. Is it working? Can you hear me? With two of us, you get to sit through two of us. So our apologies for keeping you longer. But John he is the scholar between the two of us. And I'm a builder, so I'm here to see next happen. And so John is just an amazing co-president. I thank you, John. I do appreciate the accolades, but I've got to say that saying that I'm responsible for next, John, is like saying that Larry is responsible for 3 World Series in 4 years. Were you, Larry? Okay, just checking. Okay. Seriously, next has happened because a group of very dedicated congregants and board members and staff members have just been incredible. Probably the best development team I've ever been on. It really took a shtetl to make this work. But throughout my career as a real estate developer, I've done projects with the Episcopalians, the Jesuits, the Buddhists, the Quakers, and the Freemasons, and I finally landed a project where I knew something about the project. But as we're well aware, this past year has been a very difficult one. And I hope we can take just a few moments to think forward to events that will be coming up this year that we can all celebrate as a community. It'll be the 175th year of Congregation Emanu-El. It'll be the 100th birthday of this building. It'll be the inaugural year of our new building, and the beginning of a new era of Rabbi Bowers, our senior rabbi. I didn't want to forget that it'll also be the 103rd birthdays. We're going to celebrate that of Rita Semmel and Adele Corvin. But in any case, I wanted to just speak for a second about sort of what I think to be my design compass point, and what was really important to me as I engage with Next. And as I stand here in this magnificent space in front of 1,900 families, my sister Liza in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, she's the president of our small shul, Beth Israel, in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. And 3 hours ago, she spoke to her congregation of 50 families. Her message to her congregation was virtually identical to my message today, which is that what Next is all about is looking forward and creating physical adjustments to our community to facilitate sort of the future, to promote the future of Judaism here in San Francisco. And my little hometown, a little bit about that, was founded in the same year as Emanu-El. So I was just back east celebrating the 175th birthday there. And it was also founded by German Jews, including my family. And just imagine for a second, the synagogue measures about 30 feet, which is about from here to there, and about 45 feet from here to here. So it would fit on the bima. And but it did establish my sort of design reference points. And it's a simple building with tin walls and ceiling. It has a glowing Tiffany chandelier in the center. And it was built by the community. It's a twin to the Baptist church just down the street. It is the only known synagogue with a steeple. But most importantly, we called that shul home. So likewise, when I entered this sanctuary in 1989, I was equally inspired by its holiness, its beauty, and its simplicity. Despite its size, this space is warm and welcoming. I look at the incredibly simple stucco walls that are sort of sway-like. I look at the gorgeous bima and ark. I look at the incredible central rotunda, and of course, the stained glass windows. What happens every time I walk into the sanctuary, it puts its arms around me. But in any case, I hope you feel the same. But while other Reformed congregations in the U.S. have struggled to stay vital, our congregation is one of the standouts. I am humbled by the remarkable work of Rabbi Pierce and the Rabbi Singer and the legendary clergy that preceded them. Thanks to their leadership, visions, and hard work, Emanu-El continues to thrive. So, with that, and yet we've learned from all of you that the needs of our congregation today are vastly different than the needs in 1924 when this building was built. The synagogue today is not only a place to come and worship 2 days out of the year, but a place where communities gather throughout the year to learn, to have conversations, and to meet with the clergy about life events. In 2019, so we had done work before 2019, but in 2019 we kicked off Emanu-El Next to do the following: improve the spaces that we had and develop new ones, make the facility more sustainable and fully accessible, to upgrade our security, really critical in this time, and quite importantly, add $18 million to our endowment to ensure our financial stability and to cover the cost of operating a bigger facility and to provide funds for more programs for all of us. So now, with Next under construction, every Wednesday I have the pleasure to lead hard hat tours. I'm going to try to figure out a way to have a conversation in the courtyard coming up at Yom Kippur where we can talk about what's happening there. But during those hard hat tours, of which there have been about 30 or 40, there hasn't been a hard hat tour that a question hasn't been asked. Can you imagine what that is? Well, the question is, will the fountain come back, and will there be apples at the fountain at Rosh HaShanah next year? So I can answer yes and yes. So 1 year ago, as we were removing the old courtyard, a group of us chained ourselves to the fountain. So as a result, the 39-ton fountain, which is carefully removed from the building, with the largest crane on the West Coast. And that fountain was taken to Bayview Hunters Point, where it's being restored as we speak. So next Rosh Hashanah, we will stand around that fountain and eat apples. But in any case, on those hard hat tours, I do speak of my wife Lori's and my experience of being a part of this once-in-a-lifetime and once-in-a-century event, and how we're honored to be a part of helping to assure the ongoing vitality of Emanu-El and Jewish life in San Francisco and beyond. So our contribution has everything to do with our desire to be a part of supporting our community, which has profoundly impacted our lives. We have reflected on the 300 families that 100 years ago had the foresight to build a large enough sanctuary to fit all 1,900 families today. Emanu-El Next is about all of us. That is us who've chosen to make Emanu-El our spiritual center, and we hope you will also choose to make it more a part of your day-to-day life going forward. We are thrilled that to date, 700 of our 1,900 families have contributed to Next. This campaign is not about the level of giving. It is about paying it forward. Each of us who have given what was meaningful to us. So my message to you today is that Emanu-El Next has become now, and that this project is happening for each and every one of you and will soon be shared and enjoyed by all of us. So I dream that in 100 years, in 2124, the President of Emanu-El will stand on this bema, on Rosh Hashanah, wish everyone a happy 200th birthday of the building, and will say thank you to all the 1,900 families of 2024 for helping our community stay relevant and vital. So if you haven't taken part in Next, I encourage you in the next several months to seize the opportunity to participate in the transformation of our collective home. So I look forward to standing around our fountain, eat some apples with you at next Rosh Hashanah, and say L'Shana Tova.
So in the past year, you may have noticed we have two new rabbis. We have Rabbi Rena Singer and Rabbi Madeline Budman. And we kind of put them through the ringer to get here. There were over 50 people who helped with that process and interviewed them. So if you're one of the 50 people, could you please raise your hand who helped, who met with them? And so thank you all, because it was a tremendous amount of time, and it really is building the rabbinic leadership for the next generation. Tomorrow morning, men, 7 a.m. at Baker Beach. The water will be great. We're doing a mikvah. I would love to see all of you there. 8 a.m. I won't see you there. That will be the women's mikvah led by Rabbi Mintz. And then, once you're dried off and your hair is done, which is going to take me a little bit, 10 a.m. here for second day Rosh HaShanah services. Also, please keep the food coming. Keep bringing the food. Our city needs it, and our shelters need it. Today at 4:30 p.m., we have Tashlich, and due to the very large numbers of our congregation that attended, please park as high up as possible, or take a lift, or take an Uber, or bike, or walk to the beach. And here are our exit instructions. We appreciate your patience and cooperation as we undergo this historical renovation. With our space being temporarily limited, please exit the building in a timely manner and then gather outside to schmooze, because our teens still need to get in here to get ready for the afternoon service, which you should come to. Now, if you're able to go up the small staircases, that's on either one of those sides. Head up, either, if you're in the front rows between A and L, exit through the back door, you'll go out the door, and you'll swing a right, and you'll be out on the street. Once outside, turn to the right. People in the balcony, which we have a lot of people up in the balcony today, or back of the sanctuary, you should exit the main sanctuary foyer into the special path through the courtyard. Make sure you see the courtyard. It's magical out there. People with mobility issues should exit via the main entrance door only. Again, thank you everyone for your cooperation.
Let's not forget that at 2 p.m. in this sanctuary, our teens, the Emanu-El teen community, will be leading us in a beautiful service, and you're all welcome to come.
We take a moment for memory to say out loud the names of people who we are deeply missing at this time. I'm going to pass my hand around the room, and you can say their names out loud, and in doing so, just bring a little piece of them into this day with you. So please share those names as I pass my hand around the room. Dave Lubarsky and Marilyn Lubarsky. We rise in body and in spirit and turn to our mourner's Kaddish on page 292. Yidkadal v'yidkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach yirotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Bimru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, bimru amen.
Ve'imru, ve'imru, ve'imru
It's on page 294. And here's what I'm going to need from you. My cantor growing up, Cantor David Unterman, he taught us that amen means right on. So I need big amens as we launch into this new year. Strengthen us on this day.
Amen.
Bless us today.
Amen.
Lift up our lives on this day.
Amen.
Grant us goodness today.
Amen.
Inscribe us for a good life on this day.
Amen.
Hear our heartfelt words today.
Amen.
On this day, receive our prayers with love.
Amen.
Fortify our best intentions, and may we go forth today to do your righteous work.
Amen.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Passerà